2025 looks like it's going to be another huge year for the film industry. We've got legendary directors coming back, we've got crazy crossover acting debuts, and it can be kind of hard to keep track of everything that's coming down the pipeline, which is why I'm here. Let's talk about the movies that you need to see in 2025. I think by now most people know about Superman, Fantastic Four, Mission Impossible, so we're staying away from the big franchises today to talk about some other really good stuff that you can find in a theater. And drop me a comment what 2025 releases you're excited for, because there was no way I could cover them all in this video. First up, we've got the first A24 movie on this list, Alex Sharfman's whimsical thriller Death of a Unicorn, starring Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, among others. From the trailer and the initial blurbs, Rudd and Ortega are playing a father and a daughter on the way to a meeting with the dad's super rich, big pharma boss when they hit a unicorn with their car and kill it. This feels like a textbook dark comedy. Visually, it looks really nice. There are elements of satire, and it seems to feature this ensemble cast of hateable but funny characters, like including Will Poulter, Tay Leone, and Anthony Carrigan. I don't know if you guys have seen Barry, but I love Barry, and so I'm really excited for more kind of dark comedy roles from Anthony Carrigan. Death of a Unicorn comes out March 28th, and it seems to be kind of asking that classic Jurassic Park question of, just because we can do something scientifically, should we? Following it up with one of those legendary directors I mentioned, we have the movie One Battle After Another, which is starring Leo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, and Sean Penn, and it's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. We haven't heard from Paul Thomas Anderson in 4 years since Licorice Pizza, but he is back with a bang, guys. This is an action comedy epic with a long runtime, a super unique direction for him, and it's loosely based on the novel Vineland by Thomas Pynchon. According to a couple of sources, Sean Penn is playing the villain of this movie. He's a colonel who gets dumped by a woman for DiCaprio, and then he tries to track both of them down in a long, drawn-out chase. Now, we don't have a trailer yet, but from what we're hearing from one test screening, this movie's got way more action than Paul Thomas Anderson usually goes for, some big car chase scenes, and it just seems generally like a really good star vessel for Leo to show off his talents. One Battle After Another comes out on August 8th, and it seems like it's begging to be seen on the biggest screen possible. Next up, we're looking at some mind-bending sci-fi horror with the movie Ash, directed by musician and filmmaker Flying Lotus. Now, this is his second feature film, and the visuals and the use of color look wild. It stars Eiza Gonzalez and Aaron Paul, and it follows an astronaut who wakes up on a strange planet to find that the crew of her space station are all dead, and she has to figure out if she can trust this guy who comes to save her. And a side note, Flying Lotus produced maybe my favorite song ever in 2014. It's a musical simulation of the experience of death and your life flashing before your eyes, and it has a Kendrick Lamar feature. Like, if it sounds crazy, it is in the best possible way. So his creativity and willingness to tackle these dark themes in a trippy, colorful way bode really well for this movie. Ash comes out on March 21st, and I'm not typically one for horror, but I will 100% be seeing this. Next, we're taking it back in time for a movie inspired by super classic horror. This is Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride, starring Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale. This movie's about the Bride of Frankenstein, and it's set in Chicago in the 1930s, where we see Christian Bale's Frankenstein tracking down a scientist to create a partner for him because he's lonely. The result is Jessie Buckley's bride character, who seems to be kind of too much to handle and starts causing problems in the 1930s society. Also, it seems like it's a musical. John Magaro, who's in the movie, compared it to Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, the two biggest kind of Hollywood musical stars and dancers of the 1930s. And Maggie Gyllenhaal's husband, Peter Sarsgaard, who's also in the movie, did say that it has big dance numbers. The Bride comes out on September 26th, so you should definitely check it out to see something gothic and spooky, but also fun in the lead up to Halloween. Another huge director who's giving us a movie this year is Darren Aronofsky. His last project was The Whale in 2022, which I personally thought was super well done. But this time he's going to 1990s New York City, and specifically its criminal underworld, for the movie Caught Stealing. It's based on this noir crime novel by Charlie Huston, and it stars Austin Butler as a former pro baseball player who gets caught up in something illegal and has to try to stay alive. And this cast is crazy. We've got Austin Butler, Zoe Kravitz, Regina King, Vincent D'Onofrio, Matt Smith, Liev Schreiber, and Bad Bunny. And it's all wrapped up in this 90s New York grimy criminal underbelly. I mean, this just looks awesome. I mean, we know Darren Aronofsky can handle these kind of noir stories, and I think Austin Butler really had that persona kind of locked in when he did The Bike Riders, but then was let down by the script. So I think it'll be super interesting to see what the two of them can do together. Caught Stealing comes out this summer on August 29th. The second to last movie we're looking at here is another period piece and another scary one. It's Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler. This is a Reconstruction era South story about two twin brothers, both played by Michael B. Jordan, who come back to their hometown after a long time away and find some terrifying supernatural stuff going on. And it seems to be tied to music that can call to spirits from the past and the future. There are vampires, we can see that in the trailer, but Coogler seemed to imply that that's not the only scary thing going on here, so we'll see what else shows up. The headliners are Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld, but this is a deep cast, guys. And with Ludwig Göransson doing the music, fresh off his second Oscar, this looks like it's going to be a really immersive, scary ride. And you would think this might also be a Halloween release, but Sinners comes out April 18th, so you can see it within the next few months. And last but not least, Timothée Chalamet has been everywhere recently, and he's back once again with Marty Supreme, directed by Josh Safdie. This movie is loosely about ping pong player and hustler Marty Reisman, but it's definitely more fictionalized, and it's been described as a cross between The Wolf of Wall Street and Catch Me If You Can, so it seems like they'll definitely be leaning into that hustler aspect of the character. I mean, the guy supposedly gained and lost millionaire status 3 separate times. So with Josh Safdie directing, I think it's fair to expect some of the constant stress and high tension that we saw in Uncut Gems. This movie has Timothy, Gwyneth Paltrow, and the film acting debut of Tyler, the Creator, which is awesome. So if you're into good movies or Tyler's music or the right answer, both of them, you should check out Marty Supreme when it comes out on Christmas Day. Now, this was a really tough list to make. There's so many promising movies coming this year, but these are the ones that I chose to focus on because I think for the most part, they have a pretty good chance of appealing to both a dedicated movie fan or a more casual viewer. Not as much as like a summer blockbuster, but I mean, close enough. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love y'all, I appreciate you, and I will catch you next week.